Alright, so here's my next way of recording myself. I'm very self-conscious about recording myself. I just want to make that abundantly clear. I've had a very bad experience recording myself. Not because, I think I'm like a camera shy or something. It's just how other people perceive you when you anticipate in your mind that you're gonna record yourself. It's like, oh, so he wants us to look at him, or it's like, no, I want people to see that, this is the people that, that I want to see what I'm doing. I want them to see that, this is not some kind of random, pointless show or whatever the hell. Let's see, I'll put this here. It's gonna look like I'm recording someone else probably. Oh, look at my mouth. It doesn't even look like my mouth is moving with the direction of where my words are going, but interesting. So anyways, so I am in the process of improving my life even more. And it's not clear where I'm going to try to make this pretty quick. So it's not clear where this, but I might not go that way. It's not clear the direction and where to go next. And so I don't want to. That's right. I got some food that goes bad very quickly, and I don't want to record myself eating. So yeah, so I just don't want to advertise for other businesses and stuff. So anyway, so it's just I am looking for a kind of way to get ahead. And I found out that the main thing that has been preventing me from being able to focus on getting ahead, this is the nugget I'm delivering to you, if you haven't already known this. And this is also as part of an apology and a self-correction to Stefan Molyneux, and everyone at Team Freedomain. So so I expected them to just help me, essentially, no matter what I was going through, as long as, like, I gave them money, like a revolving donation, whether it was $5, $20, $50, or with random interspersed donations here and there, like several times a week of $5 to $15, whatever. And I expected them to continue to help me no matter how I treated them, Like, I could just like, okay, I'm just going to say a bunch of random things. I don't know how it's going to land on them. I'm just going to say everything that's on my mind. I'm just going to keep talking. I'm just going to keep interrupting. I'm just going to keep, being the first person to speak in a live stream, being the first person to text in a live chat, being the first person to ask a question, being the first person to try to help someone who in the community is asking for help. It's just like, it was all like, I just had to make my presence known. And I didn't think about the effect of that. I didn't think about the weight of that and the stress of that. And on top of that, I also wasn't grateful, and I wasn't communicating my expectations. I was just putting them out there. And if I got banned, I would make a new account eventually and get banned again. And I would tell the truth. I mean, to my credit, I did tell the truth. I would say, listen, I was banned. This is a new account. I want to make restitution. I want to go in a better direction. I don't want to be as problematic as I was in the past. Without realizing that the fact and the matter is that I was being exploited at that time. And also at the times when I wasn't being exploited and still making accounts, I still had the mindset that, okay, I'm going to be exploited again. I didn't, in fact, repair myself in a way that would prevent me from being exploited again, which was simple simply praising people for helping me and anticipating being praised, both publicly, well, at least publicly being praised by people. So especially when they ask for it. But even just at the bare minimum, just if you have an expectation from someone, like you're actually praising them publicly for what you're at least asking for, at least if they give it to you and all that kind of stuff. So that was what I did wrong. That was one of the main things I did wrong, and it was unbeknownst to me. Like I said in a an audio file, I guess you could call it. Probably not a great name for it, but just putting this in video and sort of recontextualizing here. The main problem was just that I kept expecting everyone that I engaged with to want to fight me. And I was expecting and I was preparing for fights. And the thing is that it wasn't beneficial to me and it was only perpetuating problems in problematic areas. And on top of that is the people I'm talking about actually craved the stress and attention, and it was feeding into the wrong things. And the thing is, I was trying to get out. Meanwhile, I was not able to effectively see what I look like to people who were not in these kinds of problematic situations that are kind of just like continuing to spiral out of control. And of course, this came partially to blame. I mean, wholeheartedly, actually, prominently to be blamed was just going to say this out straight, and I know it's not going to be accepted warmly by people, but yeah, I got a I got I my mom was an addict for most of my childhood, or all of my childhood, and is still an addict to this day, from what I believe and understand, and as well as my mother rather, and as well as my dad. So the thing is that when you're born to addicts, particularly especially when they're corrupt, they're liars, cheaters, all this kind of stuff in different ways, and they're in denial of it. I mean, they're actual chronic addicts. Like, they're not like, okay, I'm going to, maybe I'll have a weekend where I smoke a pack of cigarettes, and then I can quit for 2 months, and go back to normal, whatever normal is. Or, maybe I can, or the person who's like, yeah, I'll just have, a blunt like once a week or whatever. No, they were chronic. I mean, I don't know, have anything to do with them now. I assume they probably still are, but they were just chronic addicts. So that's the problem. That was the problem that I couldn't see. Growing up in an environment where, your home life was a secret life and you didn't know how to explain it to other people, and there's nobody to understand what you're going through, and then you have to learn all the things that your parents did wrong, while on top of that, defying society's expectation that you just blindly, lovingly worship your parents, which is the norm and what society calls for. And then also, of course, all the hedonistic pressures where it's like, oh, go shopping, listen to the latest rap song, or all the kind of sort of degenerate stuff that continues to make the downward spiraling trend even quicker. So at least for people who just want you who believe and accept morality is true, and honesty and courage and all that kind of stuff, like myself, those people have a lot harder of a job to take on. So I'm sort of tenderly, lovingly, compassionately accepting and embracing the mistakes that I've made, while at the same time I realize I have to also accept a certain ferocity, a certain tenacity that comes along with it, because you can't just go back and say, okay, well, the past is the past, and everything is be damned this, be damned that. I mean, you don't know, right? Like, I still, you know, I've I've made some decisions in my adult life where, I formerly had some own some created some of my own family through uh various methods, I'll just say. And so, I still have that sort of debt on my soul. Some of it is a debt, most of it isn't, but some of it is a debt. Um, so I still have some constraints and some weaknesses that are hard to get past without changing the direction of the the direction that was set before me, right? Because I mean, I'll just be completely blunt. I mean, one of the parental conversations, I'll just say it that way, or the parental language that was directed towards me was that, just having kids randomly with whatever hot girl you see is fucking awesome. That means you're the man, right? And like, it had nothing to do with being present and staying there, and you just kind of like moving on. And I'm not talking like toxic masculinity. It was just like a kind of spur of the moment, like, oh, I'm just gonna brag to this person, i.e. me, as if, he's my friend and I'm at the bar and this is how I define a friend and this is how I define a compatibly acceptable, prideful conversation. That's how my parent, will say, was non-parenting me or oppositely parenting me. So now it's not a I don't know what to do, because people, somebody will say, like, somebody said shrink, see you shrink, and it's like I know it's a trick, right? It's like, oh, just that means fix your life, right? But at the same time, it's not about thinking. You have to do. That's the problem. It's doing that's the problem. I know what to do. I just have to endure the hardship of waiting for things to move on. So that's where that's where I said I was gonna make this short. Let's try to keep this a little short. So this is that's the hard part, is just enduring the time where it's like, okay, so how do I kill the time now? It's like, well, I can write. I mean, I've been writing so much. I wrote I published two books in like less than a week, less than the past week. Yesterday, including this, well, I don't want to include this morning, but yesterday, after being contractual to like time, I probably worked like 14 to 16 hours, just like on everything to get to the next step of, being able to be more positive, be more open, everything else. Like, it just took a lot of effort and I burned through some more money than I wanted to, more liquid than I wanted to. Um, and so I'm just like, I need to keep a steady stream of content and production and work ethic flowing through. So, yeah, so I don't know what else to say beyond that at this point. It's just, there's a lot of differences in how people will kind of conscribe, like in their, in a sort of in imagining a kind of positive action plan or something, or just like a positive method of a direction in how to improve someone's life. And I sort of have a clear enough understanding and idea of what to do in order to get to a better place. And so I just want to make that announcement because I'm sure eventually there will be people looking around to see, like, okay, like, what's going on with this guy? I haven't heard from him, and and of course, it's just it's also, I mean, even if that doesn't happen, which actually I would prefer it doesn't. It's just I'm training myself for success, like, just focusing my words and my thoughts and making sense and being conscientious. Conscientious. Gee, it's been a while since I don't think I've ever messed up that word before. Conscientious. Okay. It's been a while since I've conscientiously laid out my thoughts, especially this early in the morning. It's very early in the morning here. Let's see. No, it's like, I mean, I think it's just under 6 a.m. So I usually don't make anything. I mean, I don't think I've ever made anything this early. So this is, what's that age-old saying that was in, I remember, should I mention him? I'll just say it. So there's a book I read, by Stephen Colbert, I'm American, So Can You. Completely gross and disgusting politics, all that kind of stuff. I don't do politics, just wanted to mention that. But he was talking about, you know, how his famous saying was early to bed, early to rise. You'll be successful in people's eyes or something like that. But, you know, that was like the method for success. You go to bed early, you wake up early. Now I have a very mixed sleeping schedule. It kind of just depends on different factors, and you know, especially when budgeting isn't working and I am bleeding more money than I'm making and bleeding more liquid than I am. Well, I don't know about that, but I am at least, like, it's just I don't want to have a bad credit score. I'll have to. This is I don't want to just present all my problems on a video, but so yeah, I need more capital. I need more money, so I just need to keep producing more content. And of course, people like videos more. And I know people like shorter videos. That's kind of why the reason I wanted to make this video shorter. But I also just wanted to be sort of candid and just say, like, listen, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've been up to. This is a sort of an update. So just keeping people updated, like, okay, like, you know, here, you know, this is me. And this is where I've been or what I've been up to. So I hope that this helps someone out there. It certainly helps me, and that's enough for now. So thanks so much if you've been watching, and for everyone that's just been kind enough to continue to endure the journey with me. So thank you so much, and goodbye, my friends. Bye.